Welcome back, beautiful one, to our 9-day prayer portal, where we are closing out 2024 with consciousness and care. And today we invite the sacred permission remembrance that we are made of abundance. In day number 8. So 8 is like the icing on the cake. So from 1 to 7 is that journey inward into the material realm, into our soul gifts, into our sacred expression and sensuality, into our confidence, into our heart openness, into our expression, our seeing the sacred in everything, the knowing, the understanding that we are whole. And 8 in numerology names abundance. Abundance in the sense of achieving balance in the material realm with the spiritual realm. It's not so much about how many dollars you have, but that abundant well that is ever flowing and that is receiving and giving and playing back and forth in the receiving and the giving, and how they intertwine and are woven. We're not giving in order to receive, and when we're not receiving with a thought, oh, now we have to give. If you notice, the number 8 sideways becomes the infinity symbol, becomes that union between the left and the right, the you and the me, where we meet in the center. And so it is that sacred symbol that reminds us of the everlasting truths that are within us. May we remember that we are made from abundance. May we remember to practice the art of feeling abundant. May we remember to give when we are feeling abundant, and to pause and to stop to receive our own abundance when we are not feeling abundant. To know and to trust, to long for and to desire and to pray and to open ourselves up, to keep filling ourselves up. So I invite us to imagine as if a infinity symbol, a number 8, sideways, is lying across your heart. And you notice the beating of your heart as you breathe in and as you breathe out, as you feel the energy, the essence of your being beating to life, beating you to life. And ironically, it's not beating you, right? It's not beating you what we think of like hurting, but it is, words are such magic, but it is awakening you back to your own sacred remembrance, like the beat of the drum, the beat of your heart. A continuation of the practice in day number 1, our permission to remember our ancestors. So remembering our feminine line as we inhale and breathing in and receiving and feeling it on the left side of our body and the left side of that 8. And feeling that weaving as you circle one side and you meet in the middle to then begin the next side, the right side. It's almost like glasses or like eyes. I like to see it as if it is literally, we are seeing through the illusion when we are in the presence of 8. We see the unity in all. And so notice anything that you reject, either from your masculine lineage or your feminine lineage. Or say if you can't see that within yourself, anything that you reject externally in society or in community or in culture that has a masculine vibe or has a feminine vibe, take your breath and your beating and your prayer to that space within yourself that represents that within that infinity symbol inside of your heart. Take your breath there. Take your prayer there. Place your prayer at the footstep of your heart. Ask your heart to be reactivated, to be reawoken in that area of your life, for you to see and to feel what it is that needs to come back online. So for a couple of breaths, just breathe as if you're breathing into a figure 8. It's almost like your whole body is moving in a figure 8, or your hips, or your heart, or your middle to upper back. And just take yourself, invite yourself to see your feminine lineage, your masculine lineage, be it whether you know a lot about them or not. Just notice those patterns of power. I'll get to that in a minute. Those patterns of power in which we haven't empowered. Come back into our power. Because 8 is the sacred leader number. It is that number that is that inspiring force that can lead in every area of your life. It has in astrology, it has a very like Capricornian feel. Where they're willing to do the work. They're willing to wake up. And so what area of your life have you still not awoken to? May we make that into a prayer today. May we ask that the sacred teachings of our daily life wake up that part within us so we can experience the fullness of who we are and be the leader in that area of our life. Because I share with you today that a shadow part within us of our own power, when we're not in our power, in our number 8, in our abundant self, is we go to the archetype of the prostitute, which is we are willing to receive abundance from the outside world, from the material world, while not being in integrity and alignment with our soul and our body's wholeness. So we're willing to do things, we're willing to say things, we're willing to live out things that are not fully in integrity with ourselves, just in order to receive ... So take a moment without any shame. Again, breathing into that space, into your heart. If something was triggered or activated, or a memory or an image. Because the gift of the prostitute is that she within us, and the prostitute is not a gender of a female or male, but the selling out. So the gift is the knowing our value. Remember when we were in day number 3 and we spoke about confidence and clarity and expression and authenticity. So with the sacred prostitute, the light version, not the shadow, but the light version, is the gifting of such clarity that we're not willing to sell ourselves. We would rather be in our wholeness and receive what we have, nothing else. So we're a sacred no to selling ourselves, but we're a sacred yes to honoring our own sovereignty and our own satiation. So we begin to remember those. It's as if our body then becomes, we live in an era where it's about cash dollars. So you can imagine cash dollars just coming out of your heart and pouring out of your heart. Or you can, since it's the abundant number, remember, imagine like the spring season when things begin to burst into bud. Summer is like everything is fully out. So imagine that moment between spring and summer and that fullness when everything feels full inside of you. You're satiated. Notice that by the end of summer and crops, there's so much fruit. There's like an endless fruit. And so say an apple tree, right? The forbidden fruit of the tree. You don't even have to taste the apple because you know what that apple already feels like in your body. So one bite, one thought, one bite is just enough. And so I invite us today to grant ourselves permission to feel into, also, as this recording is towards the end of the year, start to notice the leader in you that no longer wants to say yes to some certain things in whatever area in your life. Maybe you want to do a mandala in a chart and you write out all of the different areas in your life, from your health to your emotional realm, to your relationships, to your work, to your food, to your sleep. Like you might have to get really, really minute if you've never done this, so you can actually see all of the areas in your habits, your spiritual connection, your mind, so where your thoughts take you. And I invite us to write down those things that we are no longer willing to do in different areas of our lives. And we offer that back up to the abundant well, that receives all. And I invite the practice today to be a simple one. Whenever you next notice that you're doing something and you're not being a full-on ass leader, you're not being the badass leader that you know that you are. Just pause. And if you did something, be it as small as like clean up a space or work on something or say something, but you weren't fully in your fullness. Today is the invitation, the practice is to stop and to pause and to redirect that energy that you're about to give away and you call back in your power. And you stop and you notice and you call back in your power that is not in alignment. You pause and you ask yourself, is this something that is really in sacred alignment right now and that I really want to do? Yes or no? If it's a yes, you do it. If it's a no, you don't. And if you've done it and you've noticed, oh, that was messy, how I showed up, how I spoke, how I gave, how I received or how I didn't receive or how I didn't give, etc., etc. So just take your time today to notice the small details of your energetic exchange. Are you putting into practice being an abundant well in every area of your life? I know this is a big one because it's a big one. And that's why it's number 8. It's the number right before 9, the completion. It's kind of like the test, right? And it's not the test of whether you got it right or wrong. It's almost like when you know you've become a master at something, where it just comes naturally from you. And your prayer is, may I now become that magical, mysterious, because it's ever changing, master in all areas of my life. Because I can and because I am made of abundance. May you have a beautiful, full day, beautiful one. So much love.